Hello and welcome to my reflection over my promotional film trailer for the upcoming movie Follow the Method. So I want to start off by talking about my movie poster, and I just basically wanted to get into detail on specifically the items and the props and the mise en scène that I had in the poster. So for starters, I wanted to keep it very simplistic with the idea. I just wanted him to sit down and have a couple Rubik's cubes in front with the table sitting there, and I chose to go with the table um, with a glass roof so that I can have a little reflecting shot without using a lot of editing in Photoshop. I felt like I wanted to keep it very natural throughout the whole production process. I went with the Rubik's cubes in the poster because I really wanted it to pop out towards the viewer. Not a lot of posters or movies show a lot of pictures or videos with Rubik's cubes in it, and I thought that would be very interesting and abstract. I specifically went with the pattern just to make it look a little more unique. Not a lot of people actually realize that you can do a lot of different patterns with the Rubik's Cube, and I wanted to bring that out during this poster and this trailer. And I thought it would just look a little too plain if I just had a regular solid Rubik's Cube there. And luckily for me, the orange and the blue matched the actor's outfit very perfectly. I already planned for the colors to match. I just didn't realize how easily they matched without me having to do any color correction in post-production. So moving on to the pre-production phase of my trailer, I started off with thinking about an establishing shot that I wanted to do for the trailer, and I immediately wanted to get a really nice cinematic shot of a building, and I later realized that the building that I would use happens to be my mom's office. It's right off Western Road, and I thought that would be the perfect site to shoot it. And I hope, in my opinion, I feel like it turned out very nicely, that shot. So the next shot that I wanted to plan was a little interrogation scene in an interview style interrogation room. At first, I wanted to have it that this man, he had an inner motive, not an inner motive, but he had a bad history of a lot of crimes, or he was suspect to a lot of crimes, and he was in this interrogation room and somebody was questioning him. Another idea that I had was this person had talents, not exactly superpowers, but he was just above average towards other people. And I immediately wanted to cut that idea out only due to the fact that it would be kind of hard to bring that out and stretch that to become a whole film trailer. So I decided to go with the idea that this man, he's out for revenge. His sister was killed by a murderer, and he's still never been caught. And he's been devoting his life to trying to find this killer. And he finally has a tip on where the killer would be and who the killer is. And he takes his shot and he goes and tries to get vengeance. And I used the name Follow the Method because I wanted to have it Rubik's Cube related. A lot of times when you're trying to solve a Rubik's Cube, what you do is you use algorithms. And basically, I didn't want to use the word algorithm. I thought it was going to be a little too, not mainstream, but just a little too plain. So I found a few synonyms, and I wanted to go with method, and then I also wanted to incorporate it with his situation that he was going on. So I went with Follow the Method, and the viewer can decide whether or not he decides to go with the flow, he follows the method, or he goes and takes his own path. And I really feel like that brings a lot of creativity to the trailer. Again, I wanted to keep it very cinematic, so I took a couple shots, different angle shots. A lot of the B-roll that was incorporated in the trailer, I shot myself. I shot in my neighborhood. A lot of the palm tree shots and the ponds. I wanted to keep it very serious, not too many extravagant things going on during the clips. And then basically during the production phase, when I was filming my actors, I had to make sure that they were all. I wanted to make. I didn't want to show their faces a lot. I wanted to keep it very serious, and not even showing the faces I felt kept such a level of seriousness that I was able to keep going with that, and I wanted to keep just wanted to keep that idea going. And basically the only time that you'll actually see the face is, or see a face in general actually, is the shot of the fight scene in the dark room, and that's the face of a. He's not exactly a main character, and you won't even see the main character's face, only a side view. And I think that adds a lot of mystery to it, and that's why I kept that going throughout the film trailer. During the post production phase, that was definitely my main job. I definitely put a lot of time in the post production phase, fast forwarding some of the clips, adding some color correction to some of the B roll. I added a little bit of time lapse to some of the clips of my actor Nico solving the Rubik's Cube, not due to the fact that he can't solve it fast enough on his own, but due to the fact that I wanted to make sure that any mess ups that he had, any screw ups with the little kinks in the Rubik's Cube, it would be smoothened out by me just fast forwarding it just a little bit. I wanted to make sure I had plenty of different angled shots of him solving the Rubik's Cube, to show that, he's definitely doing this on his own. I'm not adding in too many effects. Besides the fast forward, this is all him solving the Rubik's Cube with his own way of solving it, which I do appreciate him knowing how to do that. Another thing that I had that I wanted to make sure that I had in my post production was I put in a lot of voiceover sounds. A lot of the sounds that you'll hear was actually placed after the production phase. The scream with the girl, that was in my little room that I had in my house that I had my mic in. A lot of the scenes of the person relaying the information to Nico about the possible suspect having the mass profile of the sister killer, that is voiceovered. Basically, a lot of these have been used in the post-production phase, and that's why that one was my most important phase. Moving on to the overall production of the entire project, I definitely realized that this takes a lot more time than I anticipated. Unfortunately, I do believe that I took a long time to actually begin filming, and I think that really hindered the process of me editing my footage and working on the other projects that I had, the other things that I had to do for this project. But right when I had all the footage, I felt like I was able to fire through with the movie poster and the website, and I really do feel like that was my biggest problem, was starting off the filming to begin with. But I do feel like once I started filming, I was able to get some beautifully shot scenes, and although it could have turned out a little better, I do feel like I did my best on this project, and I hope it shows. Basically, in the end, I really do feel like my biggest problem was, again, procrastination, taking too long to start filming. And I think my biggest strength in this film was definitely the shots being taken. I used the Nikon D3300, and I did not use an extra lens. I used a default lens with that. But even so, I feel like I did get a lot of good shots, a lot of good scenery was taken. So even though I wanted to have that warm, I apologize, that serious tone to it, I was able to get those warm shots of the palm trees and the pond. And even though the pond was a nice dark scene to match the serious tone, I really do feel like I was able to merge a little bit of the warmness and the seriousness throughout my film trailer. I definitely hope you guys enjoyed watching it. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to me reviewing my project, and I hope you guys look forward to seeing me film other trailers. Thank you.